Welcome to the Army Empire Podcast, your go-to podcast for insightful tips on investment strategies, entrepreneurship, and all things money matters. Join Bernard Alerte, your guide on this journey to financial freedom. Each episode will dive into expert advice, practical strategies, and inspiring stories to help you take control of your financial future. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or a seasoned investor, we've got something for everyone. So get ready to unlock your financial potential and make your money work for you. And now, let's welcome your host, Bernard Alerte.
Hey!
Hey Liz, how you doing? Man, got claps too. Yes.
Live audience. We have the wife is with us again.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, Bernard.
Make sure I don't go off topic.
Yeah. Okay, this is good. We love it when Eileen is with us. So we have the couple with us, and we have an amazing topic today. I know a few people have been asking. So while folks are jumping on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, let's just go ahead and let them know that they can comment, they can share, ask questions throughout this podcast. We're usually on here for a good 20-25 minutes. If you have any questions, we're going to answer questions. This is all about kids.
Yes, exactly. It's how money works for kids. It came about, being in the field and 27 years in the industry and financial field. And I had like a range of clients. I had clients from 18, 20, all the way to 75, 80 years old. And one thing I get so much from our older clients and parents, one thing I get so much is like, I wish my kids, I wish I knew this when I was younger. I wish my parents taught me this and I was young. I wish, and that's why I get so much. So our firm came out with something called How Money Works for Kids. So we would just want to share as much as possible things that parents can do with their kids, whether all different age brackets at different, that's customized towards the age, things that they can do like right now to make sure that kids set up. It's like our kids don't make the same mistakes that we make, talk about, even the Bible talks about Proverbs 13:22, a good man leaves his inheritance for his children's children. That means we got to make sure our kids and our grandkids do better than us. And that just doesn't mean physical things also. It means also mindset, money, and the right mindset, in other words.
Okay, so we're already taking notes, and our folks already know, grab your paper, pen, take notes, because this is going to be good. We don't want to have the I wish mentality. We want to target this now.
Exactly.
All right, so let's do this.
And this is why we had Eileen come on, because, as you guys know, we are a blended family, and she's done an incredible job. Our kids, they all do well, and she's done an incredible job. Make sure they're on track financially. Some kids own businesses, different things like that. So there's a lot of things that were done, and that maybe things that we didn't do ourselves in the beginning, but that were done, that she's done, that really set the kids in the right place. So we want to get on, so she gives her perspective as a parent, how to effectively make sure our kids on the right track financially.
Yeah, our family is composed of, like you said, blended. So we have like an adopted adult son, 32, 29, 27, 27, 22, and 13. So that's the composition of our family. So we've been through many different stages with our children in the financial, and also continuing now.
Exactly.
They don't make a move without calling us.
So I can imagine that even now you're still implementing things with the kids to get them to understand just the rules and things that have to do with money.
Yeah, the mistakes that we've done, we don't want them to make. I mean, our relationship with all the kids are really good. We're blessed, because not many families have that, because I've come across families that are like, well, at least they listen to you. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, why don't they listen to you? But it's reality. Not every child listens to their parents. I'm not saying my kids don't 100%, but when it comes to money and a lot of things, they don't make a move without consulting us.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
And if you look at the next slide, couple of things, and we're gonna go over a lot of information, so we're gonna go through real quick some of it. Growing up money smart, like what are some things we can do? Yes, you can raise money smart kids. Absolutely. You can start the conversation early. Money conversation early. The mistakes that parents make, they start talking about money maybe when the kids are adults. No, you can start early enough because they can see things early enough. Guide them to make good money choices, and also help kids avoid money pitfalls, which we're going to talk a lot about those also.
Okay. Awesome.
If you look at the next one we talk about, right? So what are some of the mistakes, things that people go through, right? On the next slide. Check the money mirror. One of the first things is check the money mirror, which is so important. One of the best ways is to get kids on the right track is based on what we do. They copy what we do. Kids copy their parents. And there's two things kids get their parents. They learn what to do and learn what not to do. Okay? It's so important.
And
so,
they do what you do, not what you say.
Exactly. Exactly. Absolutely. So if you look at next one, if you look at some components, money mistakes I can help fix, like what kids do, right? Even us as parents, we do it also. Common mistake, losing money, borrowing money, inappropriate purchases, greed, or miserliness, right? Credit card debt, right? Those are things, mistakes that people make, even kids make also. So how do you fix the losing money? Number one, designate a safe place to keep money. In small amounts, right? That's why it's so important. You remember when we were kids, we had piggy banks, right?
Yeah.
We had little piggy banks, right? Everyone had piggy banks. That was something we took pride in. Our I had a metal piggy bank. I took pride in it because it never broke, right? And I used to look for change, right, under the couch, right? Different things. So just put money. Yeah, but you don't see that happening. And you don't see that happening a lot.
There
right?
was a big point that you brought across, that our children, talking about 2-3 years old, has to see visually coins, visually dollar bills, because we come out with the card all the time. They don't understand that. So as little as 3 years old, like we have our grandson with us, and he thinks that, okay, he picks something, he throws it in the counter. Then he sees us whip out a card. He does not see money. He does not see coins. So that's an adjustment that we have to make, where he sees and associates dollar bills and coins as a value to a purchase or a thing.
Absolutely.
And that is so good. Okay, so hashtag piggy bank, comment hashtag piggy bank if you had a piggy bank growing up and your kids now do not have a piggy bank. And we are not showing, and I love what Eileen said, they see the card, but they never see the physical dollar bills and coins.
Attached to the card. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
if you look at the slide, inappropriate purchase, say no to things that you feel unsafe, unhealthy to the kids, stick to it. We have to teach kids that not to buy stuff. And us as parents, we feel the need sometimes when our kids want something, we feel that we want to give. We want to give to our kids. We feel like giving is love. You show boundaries is love. Showing kids boundaries is love. So you have to teach them not to get not to go after dangerous things and other things that they don't need sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But like a mirror, they do what you do. So if mine has a whole bunch of packages coming in from all different stores, and then they don't understand. They think that's the thing to do.
That's normal. Absolutely. Greed, things we teach kids, right? Understand we want to give. Teach our kids to give. Make sure that to give, to be able to the purpose of money is to be able to help others and
bless others.
Others. If you're blessed, to be blessed others, and that's something that's so important. We had even sometimes that we had to correct our daughter. I love her, Sophia, because she's the baby, right? Sometimes she's very says she's spoiled, right? She's like she doesn't like sharing sometimes, right? And we had to teach her.
No, man, you have to share.
You have to share. That's important to give, right? Credit card, that's a big challenge. And we're going to talk more. We have a lot of slides to talk about credit card, teach kids how to handle credit responsibly or sometime on a secure card, So how do we set an example? What are some things that we can do, set an example? And there's a lot of the concept we talk about the past episodes, right, Liz? Model the attitudes you want your kids to have towards money. That's one of the first steps, right? Emphasize the value of money. Emphasize that you work for money. Like if you invest this amount of time, this is what it means. My son, right? My son is 27, right? He a lot of times he goes in and he started working, right? He started working for a law firm, right? And he started making money and things like that. And then he's starting. He loves tattoos now, so he loves it. I'm like, okay, I understand, but I'm like, take it easy a little bit, right? And he's upset. I'm gonna mention it, but I told him, listen, you have to understand. You pay $600-800. How many hours did you have to work
for that?
For that, so you gotta think about that. You have to attach something to the time. So if you spend $600-800 for it, think about it. That means you have to work for maybe a whole week or 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks of work. So let kids aware that as soon as possible. Get debt under control. Pay yourself first. We talk about that so much over the past podcast. So important. Get that under control, be in a habit of giving, speak openly about money, and keep priorities straight. So
yeah, in Deuteronomy 6:6-7, these commandments that I give you today are to be in your heart. Impress them on your children. Talk to them when you are sitting at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. So it's a commandment. A responsibility is given to us to do these things, to be an example, to talk about these things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and speak openly about that. I love that.
Absolutely.
I remember, let me say this.
Yes.
I remember my dad, my first inkling of money, it was my father. I don't know if you guys have this, but my father would say, mira, tú no eres hija de Conedison. What that translates means, you're not the daughter of the utility guy, meaning the company. And I'm like, why you say that? He goes, because you leave lights on. You don't understand that costs money. And I didn't. It was, I think I was 8 or something. My mother took me, showed me the utility bill, showed me my father's check, showed me her little paper where she used to pay bills, and it hit me. I was like, oh, so that works. They give him a check. He changed that to dollar bills, and these dollar bills go to each thing. To tithing first, which they always taught me, tithing first, then the bills, the mortgage, and blah, blah, blah. And that's when I started to take awareness and shut off the lights. Because there was a conversation about the value of the money.
Absolutely.
And bills.
Absolutely.
The same way you'd have the conversation of the birds and the bees and all that stuff, we need to get into our mind that we have to also explain to the kids, even at that age of 8 years old, like your mother did for you. Wow.
Absolutely. Help kids understand the difference between wants and needs. Sometimes could be developing money savvy kids. It's so important for us to let them listen. Is this something that you need or something you want? And you have to separate need, like food. That's a need, right? You need that, right? There's certain things, clothes, you need that, but you don't need to buy those designer jeans that cost $100, $150. Okay, maybe, so those are the things that we have to get games over and over again. That's something, it's a want, it's not a need. Let them know the difference. It's a very important.
Guilty as charged. Boy, when my son was young, the soldier, when he was young, I had to always, if we were out, I had to stop at GameStop all the time to get him whatever game he wanted. I don't know. And there was no, so yes, guilty as charged. We will do that. And we don't know.
There was when my son started college in person, I gave him a budget. And I was like, how did $800 become $50? And he goes, oh, I said, that's for food. That's for lunch. He goes, oh, I bought my friends food because you said to give. I'm like, okay, what do you mean give? They don't have food? I said, I understand once in a while. He goes, I said, let me see your bank account statement. Because I send it to him. It's his name, it's his mail. It was games that he was purchasing, and he just thought that it was endless.
Wow.
I was like, no, now you're going to get $100 and that's it. On a monthly basis.
Absolutely. I mean, the best place to start for your children is have money on their own. Start teaching our kids how to make money. Start early enough how to earn money. And it's not too early. Sometimes like 6, 8 years old, teach them money. If you do this, you give them a little bit. You do this, you give them a little bit. You give so they start having a desire. There's a reward. There's a reward that comes. Like if I work, I get paid. If I work, I get paid. So it's like a response, automatic response. So we develop work ethic. We develop the right work ethic with our kids. No, it's even though sometimes we might be doing well, and you have to develop the right work ethic so they have a desire early enough. They associate work, money, work, I get money. If I get money, I can get the things that I want.
We've spoken to many parents our age that have young adults or about to be adults, and we notice that they say, "Oh, but they don't know about work." It's because I feel some of us feel since we didn't have growing up, we give, and then we don't see the disservice that we're doing, and we're not teaching those principles. And I mean, I caught myself when I did that. And I corrected it because I have other kids following. So with Sarah, I had to make sure that she understood, because Sarah was spoiled. She had Jordans at age 1. She had like, because everybody, I was like, guys,
I didn't have Jordans.
I started working at 12. Babysitting, cutting grass, helping the elderly down the block, the neighbors. I worked since the age of 11 and 12. I knew what?
At age 15 or 16, I started earning money. Literally, since I was 16, so I've never been out of work more than 5-6 months. I was 16, 17 years old. I've always found work. I always wanted to make money.
I was a hustler.
And so, also, and it's so important because they actually done surveys like kids that start working early, maybe starting their own business, doing something, end up becoming more successful than others because they have an entrepreneur mindset. They actually done the surveys, research at kids that start earning money early. So when we teach our kids how to make money early, we're doing the right things for them. It doesn't have to go outside, get a job, but give them a little something inside the house, just a little bit, right?
And always.
Absolutely. And also other birthday money.
Yes, that's important.
Kids get birthday money, cards, right? So, grandparents, they slip a card, right? But you got to teach them how to save that money.
Yeah.
Right. How to save that money. Sometimes they want to spend it, teach them. And also one thing so also important, which is just to piggyback on it, when kids sometimes when kids get birthdays, sometimes you get birthday kids. If you have a college fund, send in. You can fund your son's child's education. Just put it in there if you have that to help them out.
At one point, I was like, guys, no gifts, because our children always had like everything their wants. I said, can you just send whatever money and let's contribute it to their funds,
kids' education? Yes,
you can do that, guys. You can do that.
Absolutely.
I need to change that. I need to let my kids know that for the grandkids, like.
No, they have enough toys. They got enough stuff.
The toys, they're everywhere. Like, what else do we need to buy this little girl? And I know you mentioned like the Jordans at the age of 1, and I know a lot of parents are guilty of this. I remember my mom saying that when I was born, and she had this little side job. She said, my first check, I walked by a department store, Liz, I spent the entire check on you, my first daughter, because you were my first girl. And I was like, I'm just gonna spend and I bought you dresses, and I got home and your dad was like, the check, and she's like, I blew it on you. We do that. Maybe that's why I'm such a I say, Mom, it's your fault. It's your fault you did this. So good.
Next thing, and create a perfect allowance. If you have, and there's a big debate if you chose to have allowance for your kid, create an allowance, but also pick a day. Pick a day that you give the allowance to stick to it. So they use to a schedule where we're conditioning them so for them when they go to work. So pick a day. So if you have a day, you give them every Friday or every Saturday, just pick that day. It's a little something like that. Pick that day. Younger kids need weekly allowances, right? Teenagers need budgeting skills, right? For monthly payout, right? Decide what the money will cover and let them know, listen, the allowance you're going to get is will cover your lunch or your clothes or something. Depends how much. Sometimes it's too little. But regardless, at least they have something. This money's accounted for something. Right?
Some kids are not actually money motivated. It's not that they have everything. It's just they're not money motivated. Like your son wasn't until he found something that he really liked that he had to work for. Like my daughter, she could care less. It's like she got what? Listen. I went into her drawer and she had a wad of money. I'm like, what is this? You're supposed to put this in your bank account. No, leave it there. I was like, oh my God. But what she does like is time with us. So we're like, if you do this, then we'll set aside time. So you got to find what motivates your children too.
Good. That's a really good one.
I also, I did a money board. I put a board and I put envelopes. This is for all the kids. Like if you want, one said $10, $5, $2, $1, and each envelope said, if you vacuum, you get this. If you do the laundry, you do this. If you change the beds, you do this. If you do the lanai, you do this. So they just pick it. After they finish, they have to show it to me, take a picture, and they're allowed to take that envelope.
Bernard, did she used to do this? That's awesome.
That's not for me too.
If you take out the trash,
Yeah,
if Bernard
exactly.
takes out the
I
trash,
got
she
an
gets
envelope too. Exactly.
I mean, I was trying to find something because I had children of different ages with different motivations. So I was like, I'm stuck here. I can't give them allowances. Then that don't work for my kids at one point.
Yes.
So I had to do that. Mhm.
motivators. Good idea. Good idea. Love that.
And if you look at the next slide, right? Learning how to handle credit. That's one of the biggest challenges, learning how to handle credit, especially when kids
I love this one.
kids 15, 18. And I made a big mistake. Like I said, let your kids see you use the cash sometimes. And that's a big challenge. Like sometimes, like Aline said, we use debit cards, credit cards. So they think it's just
endless.
Endless. They think it's unlimited because it's crazy. Sometimes we used to go to the store when the kids were young. Like, okay, no, we're not getting this. We can't get this. Well,
use the gold one.
Use the gold card. You have that red card. Use it. Don't use the red. They say red card. Use that red card. Use that gold card. I'm like, yeah, but that's not unlimited money, But they think because of that credit is invisible and can be seen like free money, and that's what happens sometimes because you can't touch it. I always tell the kids, and I was telling Justin, I was working around because when we start working, I said you need to take.
Oh, he went to
cash.
pay, and you said
take out cash.
Take the $800 out.
You need to have cash.
You need to feel it,
smell it, cash. I said when you got his first tattoo, he only has two. It's not bad, but he has two. But it's like when you get your first one, pay cash. I want you to take the money out
so it can hurt,
so you can see it, and you little by little, so you can see because when you use a car, you don't feel the pain. And that used to see back in our generations, right? We used to hate like when that's why people overspend. You see your wallet
like this,
they overspend because when you have cash, when you use cash, sometimes it kind of keeps. Oh my gosh, I have nothing left. Versus if you just swipe it, and you don't see it, you don't see the pain. No pain, no gain.
That's right.
And you need to feel the pain, and kids need to see that. Okay. Credit is a privilege, not a right. I made a big mistake. I didn't know about credit. I remember I was 18, went to college, right? And I'll never forget, they used to give stuff and they pray. Let me tell you some guys, they pray.
Get a book bag.
Banks out there pray on your kids, especially college kids. That will go to keep you in bondage as early as possible. So what they do sometimes, kids would I remember they used to give me like just a credit card. Don't worry, you'll get approved real quick. We're gonna give you this thing. We give you a baseball hat. We'll give you this. Like, okay, no problem. And all of a sudden, I have a card. I'm excited. I'm using it. I don't think I have to pay it back. It's so crazy. I'm not saying the name of the bank, right? But my mom had the same credit card, same bank. So she get a statements to the house, right? And she saw it, but she opens it, right? He just opens and she think it's hers. It's like, and there's like a $3,000 balance. Like, I'm like, I didn't spend $3,000. What's wrong with that? And she looks at the name and she says, Bernard. I got in trouble, right? That's why
I didn't know. My parents.
I didn't think I had to pay it back. But those are stories that happen. But we're not. There's an attack out. Let me tell you something. If we don't teach our kids the right money, institutions they pray. They're praying. They're praying to keep them in debt.
Yeah.
I taught my kids that debt was like evil. Like, no, they're gonna come and arrest you if you don't pay the money back. I'm extremist. That's the way I teach my kids.
It scares me.
I'm an extremist. So I was like, if you borrow money and you late, they're gonna come and arrest you. That's why my oldest, she was crying to me the other day. I think it was last month. She was, Mommy, oh my God, I'm in such debt. And I'm like, what happened? He goes, no, because the child care, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, how much is the debt? I'm like waiting to hear like 10, 15. She's like, $3,000. I'm like, yeah, oh my God, you got to get rid of that. They're going to come and arrest you. She's like, no, they don't. I'm like, oh, I can't use that no more.
Can't use it no more.
Sure.
But my kids are terrified of debt. It's because I've instilled that that's not good debt. Good debt.
So if you go to the next slides real quick, and what are some ways you can teach? And I'll go to real quick. Start slow. Open up a money market account with them so they can start saving in their own name. Build confidence, even small returns, and show them the statement. The good thing, show them the statement. Show them, for example, you put this amount of money, now you have this. So they see interest, they see money grow. So they see that. It's important for them to see that, right? Build confidence, get diversified. There's something further down the line. to save, set up a college fund, not only college fund, but you can set up a regular account for the kids, right? People don't really know that you can actually hire your kids to work with you and give them, set up a little minor IRA for the kids, right?
That's wild. So if the start slow, a money market, putting it in their name, how old do they need to be for us to put it in their name?
They have 2-3 years old, as early as possible.
Wow, that's awesome.
Kids have babies, that they're not going to learn from it. But I say 3, 4, 5 years old, when they start learning to count, which I'm going to show you a couple of slides on different age brackets that you can actually use what to do in different age brackets. So,
and can I, as a grandmother, do that?
Absolutely.
For a grandchild?
Absolutely, you can do it. Absolutely. And it's about giving back to kids. Also giving back. Teach our kids to give back. And like Eileen talked about is when she grew up, they said, listen, if you get paid $1,
you gotta give 10
you didn't make $1.
No, you made 90 cents.
You made 80 cents. You have 10 cents to tie, 10 cents, 10 cents savings, 10 cents tax. You have to teach them tax also. There's Uncle Sam. So you have to teach. So you didn't make 900, you didn't make $1, you made 70. Yeah. So you take 10 cents to tie, right? 10 cents tax, 10 cents savings, then you save, then you're left with $70.
You literally can do this with a 5-year-old 6. You take 10 dimes and you put 3 jars, 4 jars. You put 1 jar of tithing and you give, which you could go and buy stuff for the homeless or whatever. And then as that grows, you can go on the mission field and give. And then what's the other jar? I forgot.
A jar in tax.
Money that belongs to the government.
They need to understand there's tax also. They have to pay tax.
You can break it down as young.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're giving to God what belongs to God and Caesar what belongs to Caesar.
Exactly, 100%.
Also, the kids have seen us contribute and go out there and give to the community.
Be generous. They have to learn how to be generous. Be generous.
Yeah.
So if you look at
and giving back is everything. Giving back is everything.
Because you will get tenfold.
Absolutely. And what are some things you can do at different age brackets? Real quick. So 3 to 5. If some of you have young kids 3 to 5, the first time you kids start asking about money is the time you start building a foundation. If they ask anything about money, you start building a foundation. Use cash around preschool so they can learn how to count. Credit cards are too abstract. Let them collect coins. I have a clear container. So you can tell them, listen, let's make sure we fill up the container. Set a goal to fill up the container. So they'll have a drive. They'll want to say, you fill up the container, we're going to get this.
Motivation.
You feed the motivation. They see early enough, right?
You know what was the indication for my 3-year-old? He said the word buy. I've never heard him say buy. And he said, Nana, buy me a dino. And I said, buy? Like, who taught you that? Right there, he knows there's a concept that there's an exchange.
Yeah, there's a purchase that happens. I'm going to open this up so people can screenshot this. For those who have 3-year-olds or 5-year-olds, go ahead and screenshot that because that's where you really want to get started. This is amazing. And I just want to say welcome to those who are watching on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. Welcome. Go ahead and just screenshot this really quick. If you have a grandchild or you want to send this to your daughter, your son, and be like, look, your kid is 3 to 5. We need them to work on this.
Absolutely. Great. So if you look at the next age bracket, 6 to 10, what I do is 6 to 10. When your child enters school, you can start teaching that the basic of savings and budgeting. Like, for example, it's a perfect time to start a weekly allowance, maybe, right? Take your child shopping with you to give them a hands-on. Bring shopping. Let's make a list together of food when you go food shopping, right? Instead of just keeping it dark. Listen, those are things that are important. Let's buy necessary, then we'll buy candy afterwards.
Let me give an example of this. I bought my daughter her clothes up until about 2 years ago. And it was because I went to, TJ Maxx to get some pair of pants real quick. And she asked me, Ma, can I look for my own clothes? Can I choose my own clothes? Aha. There was the motivation of I said, yeah, you have $30. And then she goes, okay. So she went and she goes, Ma, this is more than $30. Well, you're going to have to find something that's less. Go find 2 shirts instead of 3 shirts.
Perfect example. What we do as a parent? Oh, it's okay, baby. I'll get it for you. Look, no. Guess why we teach them? You've imprinted their mind that if they can afford something, someone else is going to take care of it or find some other way to afford it.
So good.
equals debts as you get older. It may not you, but it means credit cards as you get older, for example, right?
To compensate. That I'm giving you like clues that happened that I was aware of a money consciousness.
Exactly.
Yes.
Age 11 or 14, keep reinforcing the idea of saving, right? 11 is the age for basic instruction. You can talk about investing a little bit. You can talk about compound interest. You can talk about, we have a podcast that we did on the Rule 72. You can talk about, because they understand multiplication. They understand that concept.
Yes.
At age 12, encourage them to look for extra money outside if they want to. That's up to them, right? Mowing lawn, babysitting. Consider extending weekly allowance, right? Depending on how responsible you feel kids are. Introduce them to credit. Maybe get a prepaid card for them.
Well,
like something you can do that.
There's banks out there that has accounts for children, and it links to your account, and then you can put money and transfer to their, and they get a card with their name.
Yeah,
and it's prepaid.
Absolutely. And
so that's a really interesting age. That one right there.
Exactly.
Yeah, as long as they can multiply, divide, they will understand.
Exactly. Teach financial education, age 15, 18, right? College may be looming in the future, right? You don't want to send them out like we talk about without a good financial foundation.
Yeah.
At age 15, your child start part-time work. They might do extra work. Reinforce a negative of power and credit card. You have to reinforce that with them. Emphasize the importance of a budget, learning from your mistakes. Learn from the mistakes that you made. So this is so important. As we grow, especially that age bracket, because this is where the institutions start going after our kids, right? And put them in bondage.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
If we don't do it, that's exactly what's going to happen.
They have a field day with our kids.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And they say they're 18, they can make their own choices.
Yeah. But you can rate, like, listen, you can absolutely do it. We can all raise smart money kids, right? Kids who are ready to grow into adulthood, right? And you'll need to make just through the maze of financial responsibility. And one of the things, don't feel guilty. One of the things that mistakes our parents made, because we've made sometimes mistakes ourselves. We feel like we're not in a position to teach. No, we're not in a position to teach them the right way, because we feel like it's hypocritical. Some people might not be doing good. Like, you have to teach. Doesn't matter. You have to teach because that's right for them. We can't let our kids grow with financial aid. We can't let our kids, we have to teach them early enough. I mean, so
they can enter a healthy relationship, healthy
money.
And money relationships. Yes.
With money, their relationship to money will determine how their relationship is in the marriage.
Absolutely.
And that's important, because if two people come from different relationship with money, their relationship with money, you got to learn these things when you're looking for your partners. Like Absolutely. I tell my girls, you got to know their stuff before you make a commitment.
That's another podcast.
Yeah, that's another podcast.
Yeah, and it is really good. It does determine, having a healthy relationship with money dips into a healthy relationship in marriage and a healthy relationship with success.
Yes,
absolutely.
Ultimately, you can't enjoy success if you have an unhealthy relationship with money. Absolutely. Listen, there wasn't anything that you all said here. Let me go to the next slide. I don't want to. Yes. I'm going to finish with something
absolutely.
else.
The next. Listen. Also, you can actually there's a QR code. You can get a free booklet on how money works. Everything we talked about for your kids. You can
go over that.
You can go there and you can take a QR code and just scan it. It'll give you a free, and you can download it. It's free, and you can be able to actually see a lot of things that we talk about, and you can go over that with them, like a little curriculum with the kids, or you can have something to go back to. Everything we talked about is right there, and you can be able to share with the kids.
I love this. I am sending this episode to my 4 grown-up children. And if you have grown-up children who are now having and raising their own children, now is the time to send them an episode like this, because this is what I was going to say, is there wasn't anything that Eileen and Bernard mentioned here that we cannot actually implement now.
Exactly.
Nothing that they mentioned is hard. Everything here was relatively easy, especially the one slide that said you can decide where it comes to like allowances. Okay, well, maybe you can't do the whole allowance thing, but you can do the odd jobs here and there. And say, okay, you're going to get money by doing, wash the dishes, or do you get the money? So there's different ways that you all have given us great tips on how to implement this stuff and creating a beautiful relationship with our kids and money, showing them the bills and the coins in their hands, the little dimes in their little tiny hands.
It's so important. It just, if you can see it and touch it, they don't know credits. It's invisible. So sometimes they feel like, well, they feel it's unlimited. They feel it's unlimited, but they need to see it. It is not unlimited.
Yeah,
there's
like
limits.
Sophia doesn't have access to her account because it's a parent-child account. So she tells me, "Ma, can you snapshot what I have in the account?" And I snapshot it, and she sees that she has there. And then she goes, "Ma, can I purchase a Roblox, whatever?" I said, "How much is it?" "Oh, it's $10. I said, "You have $10? Did you take care of whatever?" "Yes." "Okay, so then I'm gonna get I have a parental control. Anything that she purchases on her thing, I have to verify it. So I verify it, and then she's able to purchase it."
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Okay, we need to sit. The email is scrolling below. Go ahead and sit with Bernard and Eileen.
Yes, absolutely. If you have more questions, feel free. We'll email me the questions, or
you need to set up any account.
Time. Absolutely, absolutely. We'll guide you.
We're all gonna go to the store and buy now piggy banks for our kids.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a nostalgia actually for my grown kids. They like want piggy banks just because it brings memories.
Yes.
That's so awesome.
If you don't have a piggy bank, get like a big clear container, even like a little water jar, clear container where you actually put coins in there so they can see it. So you may not get a piggy, but at least they can see it grow. So listen, it's growing. So they see it, and you keep putting money, and you'll see they'll start trying to find money, coins. They'll see coins. Like, think about it.
But that takes us using cash.
Exactly.
If you want to make a statement, you got to start using cash just to show. It's the lesson learned. Is what they need to learn. I know we don't like to walk around with cash, but do it. Do it for your kids.
Yeah.
Do it for your kids.
Absolutely.
Wow, he mentioned the big water thingy that you turn around. My dad used to do that. Like, he had one in his office, and every so often we'd all just like go in and just put pennies, quarters and stuff in there. I don't know if he told us this is vacation money or something, but that brought back memories. That's awesome.
Absolutely, so true.
This was great. This was fantastic. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining us today. I have a feeling that this one's going to get a lot of views because this was really, really good. But we're looking forward to next week for another amazing topic with Bernard.
Absolutely. Got a lot of great stuff planned next couple of weeks.
Fantastic.
Credit cards with
yes,
starting a credit line with young people.
Yes, we're going to talk about that.
It's important. There's things that we need to set up our children's credit.
Absolutely.
From young.
So good. All right, guys. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and your wealth with us. We love you very much. And until next time, we'll see you again here at the Army Empire Podcast. Have a good night.
Love you guys. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Army Empire Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Join us next week for another exciting edition, and until then, keep building your empire.